Hello YouTube, this is Dakota from Bowtied Media, and I have reviewed a lot of albums that have come out in specifically the EDM space, and so I'm curious today to take a look at some of your reviews. But what we're going to do is I'm going to see the review that some of you maybe have given these albums, these iconic EDM albums that I don't actually know what the albums are. I'm going to guess the name of the album, whose album it is, based off of just the review, and maybe a couple other hints along the way. I've asked a wonderful friend of the channel, Deedge, to get me 20 reviews from albums that I hopefully would know to some extent, some iconic EDM albums, and I'm gonna guess what they are based off of the review alone. So let's do it. Okay, a 38 out of 100, go back to 2014 where you belong, a review from 2 years ago. Sometimes these screenshots have some more information. This one 2 years ago, so probably an album from the last 2 or 3 years ago, something like that. And I do have a sneaking suspicion what this is. I think this is actually Porter Robinson's Nurture. I think this is someone that really hates the new style of Nurture and loves old Porter Robinson, because I think Worlds came out in 2014. I can try to think of other big albums. Madion's did too, so maybe this is good faith. But my official guess is going to be Porter Robinson's Nurture is where this review is from. Let's see, the answer is Nurture. 1 for 1, baby. I'm sure that's not going to last because there's 20 here, and I have no idea what all these are going to be. Okay, a legit critic review from Uncut here. Silly and overblown, but wittily brilliantly so. Silly and overblown, yet wittily brilliantly so. I think this is probably modern and also an 8 out of 10. I think this is probably like a Skrillex, fuck you Skrillex. You think you're Andy Warhol, but you're not. That is going to be my official guess. It is fuck you Skrillex. The answer is Random Access Memories, Daft Punk. Silly and overblown, but wittily brilliantly so. I would not categorize Random Access Memories as silly and overblown. That's crazy to me. Okay, a 3 out of 100. 3 for the confidence that I don't have to open up any music producing software to make shit like this. Oh man, this is just like one of these just crap reviews that doesn't say anything and just a pure hater. So the question is, what are we hating on here? What are we hating on? Is there any other hints? I might say ISO XO with Kids Gone Mad would be my guess. Let's see. The answer is Mellow Killers. Okay, no, that's okay. That makes sense. You know, I thought it was going to be a bit of a jokey one and a not serious review, but I mean, it's also not a super serious review, but I can see this. I can see this. Let's see, a critic review here from Spin, Brandon Soderbergh, I guess. 5 out of 10, 50 out of 100. He wants to be the most clever guy in the room full of people who don't care about being clever and just want to dance. From also 12 years ago. So this is a pretty main stage artist. And by the fact that they say just a clever guy, probably just a solo act, I would probably say if people were going to be a hater towards his style of music, I think you would describe this as maybe a Deadmau5. And so my official guess is going to be Deadmau5. Random album title goes here would be my guess. Maybe 4 times 4 equals 12. But I'm going to say random album titles go here as my final guess. Let's see. The answer is album title goes here. I'm actually the best. This is, I'm genuinely impressed with myself. I'm getting some of the hints here. I don't know what, I'm not really keeping score, but props to me. Come on. Okay, 55 out of 100. The musical equivalent of NyQuil has its moments. Okay, if someone was going to say, I'm sure this is like chill out music. So my guess is maybe like a Fred Again. So I might say like a Fred Again Actual Life would be, if I were to think of the album that maybe I think most closely represents this kind of comment, I would say Fred Again Actual Life. So that's going to be my final guess. And the answer is Good Faith. Maddie on Good Faith, the musical equivalent of NyQuil, has its moment. NyQuil works like all the time. You guys know that, right? Like it puts you to sleep, but it works. So 55 out of 100? Okay, that's kind of crazy. Okay, another critic review here. It's not perfect, but it's a constantly thrilling debut. 80 out of 100. A debut album that's not perfect, but constantly thrilling. There's so many artists that it could be as like a debut record, but big enough that this would be reviewed by a critic, because not a lot of like not a lot of the big like real quote unquote critics or labels really review music in the EDM space. So this is probably a big artist like a Daft Punk or a Skrillex. I'm gonna actually go with another Porter Robinson. I'm gonna go with Porter Robinson Worlds. I think this is what someone would describe maybe back then as not perfect, but a constantly thrilling debut, even though I think it's a 10 out of 10 album. So I'm gonna lock in Porter Robinson Worlds. Let's see. The actual answer is Settle. Disclosure. Okay. I can sort of resonate. Again, that's another album that I actually think is a 10 out of 10 album. But okay. Okay. Okay, another 8 out of 10. Someday I look at this record and say, yeah, it was good. Then out of curiosity, put on one of the first songs and go, oh, this is good. Then the next song and go, oh, wait, this is incredible. Then listen to the next song and go, oh, the sound design is great, man. I didn't remember it being that good. Then some other months pass and someday I look at the record and say, yeah, it was good. I actually resonate with this quite a bit, especially with albums that are a little bit more of a niche kind of listen or sound design that is not something I would typically put on or have a different kind of headspace to be listening to it for. So I actually do resonate with this as well, a fair amount. And they gave it an 8 out of 10. So I'm gonna say this is Chime's Aetherborn, because that's actually a way that I would describe this too, where I don't really listen to Aetherborn a whole ton, but I go back and when I would listen to it, I'd be like, oh, I gotta listen to this some more. So I'm gonna say this is Chime's Aetherborn, locking it in. Answer is Quest for Fire, Skrillex. Okay. Okay. Yeah. 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 A Factory of Futuristic Synesthesia. A perfect 10 out of 10 from 3 months ago. The review's from 3 months ago, but I can't think of anything this year that I would maybe put like that I would describe as that. Maybe like a more Kismet, but that album like just came out, so it wouldn't be 3 months ago. This also could be a later review. Maybe just because it's in my head, but I'm going to go Chime Aetherborn again because that just feels like that could fit this description pretty well. So I'm going to say Chime Aetherborn, lock it in. The answer is Sizzy, The Weight of the World. Yep. I can see that. 100% agree. 46 out of 100. I expected a Fortnite compilation to start all the time. Either that or a DIY time lapse or something. What in the world is this? This feels so out of left field and so random that I do not know what this remotely could even be. I'm honestly pretty lost on this one. I've got no idea. But my guess, if anything, that maybe describes this and something that's in that kind of Fortnite timeline when Fortnite was really, really massive in like the COVID era. So I'm going to say that this is maybe Louis the Child Here for Now. I don't think it's a great guess, but it's the guess I'm going to go with because I got to guess something. So locking it in Here for Now. Final answer, or the right answer, is Avicii True. Okay, well, this is okay. I guess I'm trying to game the game too much because True came out way before Fortnite, and so I was trying to game the game too much. 9 out of 10. I disagree. It's not Nothing from 4 months ago. I disagree. It's not Nothing, which makes me think that there's nothing in the title. I think I cracked this one. I think it's Grabbit's Big Epic Nothing is my final answer. Let's see. The correct answer is Grabbit's Big Epic Nothing. Let's see. 6 out of 10 feels like a lost album. I really can't distinguish between songs. It sounds so formulaic. This is one I maybe just because I said it already, but in my head I would go like a Fred Again. So is this like Fred Again's most recent record? We're not talking Actual Life, which in my head right now for some reason is escaping me the title of it. But I'm gonna guess Fred Again is my final answer, and the answer is Eden Vertigo. Oh no, my favorite album of all time. 6 out of 10. Lost. I can't really distinguish between songs. Oh no, that hurts me to see. But we're hopping back in 100 out of 100. Fucking hell, beauty and depression mixed in one. This album is really a specific vibe, and I do love it. I love it a lot. Part of me thinks this is a joke one. Part of me thinks this is a meme one where this is actually a really bad album and someone gave it 100 out of 100, but I don't think so. They seem to like really love it. Beauty and depression mixed into one. I don't even know where to even begin with this. That might actually be serious. Maybe this is Tristram's with Love Until We Die. Not really EDM, but I think this is something that Deedge might have picked. So I'm gonna go Tristram with Love Until We Die. Answer is untrue. Oh, dang. Okay, that one makes sense in more hindsight. I'm not super familiar with Burial's discography, and so that one does make sense. Decent energy and sound, but cringy as well, which can make it skippable. Decent energy, but cringy. What has like maybe loud sounds, but is also kind of cringy, but also a like 61 out of 100? Um, I'm gonna say maybe this is Sullivan King, Thrones of Blood. It would be my final answer. I'm not confident, but let's see. The actual answer is Pharmacy, Galantis. I wondered if there was going to be a Galantis one too. Okay, that I can see. I can see this review absolutely hitting here, and this is probably a later review, is my guess, like in the last couple years, because at the time it did not feel cringy at all. If Marshmello collabed with Sophie, this would have been the thing. 80 out of 100, 8 out of 10. If Marshmello collabed with Sophie, so is this like a super like future bassy, but also experimental, but also pop? Oh no, this is Brat. I'm pretty confident I'm locking it in, and this is Brat. Charlie XCX. Let's see. The answer is Palaces. Okay, Flume. Yeah. Okay. No, I can see that. I can see that for sure. But Marshmello and Flume, I get that they both kind of do adjacent future-based music to some extent, but no. I mean, come on. Also, 8 out of 10, though. Agreed. The Definite Summertime Nostalgia's theme album. Man, and an 84 out of 100. So if this is nostalgia theme, I'm assuming this is an older album, and this is a review that's like going back and saying, yes, this is like the absolute summer theme kind of album. I'm trying to think about what someone would give that. I would say Avicii, I think, but like a Stories. I think I'm actually gonna go with Jack U. I know it's a bit of a weird pick, but I think I'm gonna actually go with the Jack U, Jack Diplo and Skrillex present Jack U album. I'm gonna lock it in. Let's see the final answer, and it actually is A Moment Apart. Odessa, yep, for sure. This is okay. This is an actual EDM fan reviewing this. I thought this was maybe like more of a just a general, just multi-genre person listening for the most part, but I very much agree. 84 out of 100. Also, like a yes, definite summertime nostalgia theme. 100%. I agree with it. I was just thinking too hard. God, I hat the French. I'm sure it's probably hate the French. So the two big names that I think of are Daft Punk and Justice. And I think this is like a 78 out of 100 because it's like, oh, this is actually good, but I hate them because they're so good, which is a thing that I've said in the past. I said I hate the French because they're so good at making music. I'm going to say this is a Justice Cross, I think. I might be gaming the game because we already had a Daft Punk, so I'm going to say Justice Cross. Final answer. The answer actually is Justice Cross, baby. I'm not too bad at this thing. I'm kind of okay at thinking about EDM music. 67 out of 100 divided by 3, and we get from Malaysia to America in record-breaking time. I have no idea what this is trying to say. I got no idea on this one. I'm just gonna, because there's a 3 in here and Swedish House Mafia is a group of 3, I'm just gonna say friggin', I don't know, Paradise Again, Swedish House Mafia. I know it's wrong. That's my final answer. The actual answer is 18 months. Okay, Calvin Harris. Yep. Divided by 3, and we get from, that must be a line from the album that I'm just not remembering. We get from Malaysia to America. It must be, okay, it must be a clever thing that I'm not thinking of exactly, but okay, sure. I'm very confused though. Bleep, beep, bop, bloop, bap, bap, bop, and a 6 out of 10. This could be a billion things that people don't really love about EDM if this is a not so serious one. If I'm trying to think of just a bleep bleep bloopy kind of album for some reason, I might say Mr. Bill's Mechanomorphic, even though it's definitely not a 6 out of 10. It's way better than that. But I would say Mr. Bill Mechanomorphic would be my final answer. I'm locking it in. Let's see. The actual answer is Aphex Twin Richard D. James. Okay. Yep. Okay. 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 The unbearable lightness of modern beats made only for massive consumption. 4 out of 10. What is like a big album that massive consumption that's also bright and light? Bright and light and happy? I'm putting happy in that, but also 4 out of 10? Unbearable lightness of modern beats made only for massive consumption. Oh, is this like a? Oh, I'm trying to think of like like a marshmallow. Alan Walker, maybe? Like, yeah, no, maybe I'll go with Alan Walker. Walker World 2.0. That I'm gonna lock in Alan Walker. Let's see. The actual answer is True Colors. 4 out of 10. True Colors. Modern massive consumption. This album has some big hits, but it has got a lot of niche or EDM stuff in there. That is a poor review. And finally, 93 out of 100. This cannot be good for my mental health. What is just a really good album that probably just blows the freaking nuts off of things, that's just explosive and not good for your mental health? I'm trying to think of a really aggressive album, but also a really good aggressive album. At least that's the way I'm thinking, unless there's like a really sad album that's not good for your mental health. I think I said it earlier. I don't know. That's my final answer. Locking it in. Charlie XCX Brat. The answer is DJ Diesel MDE, the newest EP by Shaq. A 93 out of 100. This can't be good for my mental health. If you're loving that as like the some of your greatest stuff ever, I got some music recommendations for you. Seriously, hit me up. But thank you for joining for the ride. This was a fun one. Let me know if you guys like this. Again, big shout out to Deedge for putting these together. If you want more, please let me know in the comment section below, and we'll get some more going. But that being said, I've been Dakota from Bowtied Media, and I'll see you guys in another video.